A thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle.
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on and join us.
Sure, there's always room for one more.
While in the mystery of the disappearing TV antennas, it looks as if Bullwinkle Moose is the first victim. Assigned to stand guard over a decoy antenna, Bullwinkle ran face to face with what seemed to be a 6-foot metal mouse. The meeting lasted only a few seconds, and then Bullwinkle slept soundly until morning. Of course, when he woke up, he found it impossible to tell anybody about it.
Mainly because I don't believe it myself.
Well, I've got no other course than to take you in for questioning, Bullwinkle.
Oh, I don't mind questions, Sheriff Wright. It's answering I can't do.
Gee, it looks as if Frostbite Falls has lost its TV permanently.
True enough, the town's television sets had been off for some days now. Most people still sat in front of them in the evening, but a few families had begun to adjust to the situation. Some used their sets as aquariums, some raised flowers in them.
You want to watch the daisies tonight, Myrtle?
No, turn to Channel 7, Humphrey. It's got petunias.
Nevertheless, most people found they just couldn't get along without their television.
Come back. Please, come back.
But at that moment in the boardroom of the Nit-Nat Network, there was an emergency meeting going on, presided over by their chairman, Quincy Flogg.
Gentlemen, we face a dire emergency. TV antennas are disappearing all over the country.
You mean people can't watch the programs?
Worse than that, even. They can't watch the commercials.
What?
Yes, we're pitching, but they're not catching.
And Quincy Flogg pointed to the map of all the television antennas in the country. As the startled members watched, they could see them disappearing before their very eyes.
We're being wiped out.
We face the fight of our lives, gentlemen, but we'll win.
Of course, the Nit-Nat Network immediately set guards over its broadcasting transmitters located high atop Mount Filbert.
This is silly if you ask me, Edgar. Who'd ever come clear up to this mountaintop just to...
Now, there's something you don't see every day, Chauncey.
What's that, Edgar?
A 6-foot metal mouse.
Oh, I don't know. These woods are full of mice.
But this mouse was a little bit different from most mice, for he went direct to the transmitter and began to bite huge chunks out of the steel tower. In a matter of minutes, the Nit-Nat Network was off the air. Of course, the two guards soon found themselves behind bars.
Why are you here, Chauncey?
I wouldn't tell them what happened. I figured they wouldn't believe it.
Oh?
Why are you here?
I told them. They didn't.
But the Nit-Nat Network wasn't the only one hit. In the days that followed, tower after tower was demolished. What was worse, people all over the country began to slip back into their old-fashioned evening habits, catching fireflies, playing the mandolin. Some people even began to go to bed early. That's why, a little while later...
As your senator, I can tell you that people all over this fair land demand action.
Yeah!
Truly, this is a task worthy of the greatest mind of the country.
That's right.
The most courageous heart.
That's right.
The most stalwart champion of the people.
You mean...
Yes, I mean Rocket J. Squirrel.
Oh.
Don't worry, folks. I promise I won't fail you.
But even as Rocky spoke, a nearby iron lamppost trembled, tilted, and began to fall directly toward him. Don't miss our next episode, A Knock for the Rock, or The Lamp is Low.
And now it's time.
Time for that jolly juggler, Bullwinkle.
Oh, dear.
3 at once. 1, 2.
And now here's a feature you're sure to like.
3.
Once upon a night, there was a cat, which in itself isn't unusual. What is unusual is that this particular cat had cold feet. But being smarter than the ordinary cat, he had a plan to remedy that situation. He climbed to a fence by one of the small houses of the kingdom and began to yowl at the moon for all he was worth. Inside of the small house, a young man who worked very long and hard in the okra fields for his bread and beans was sleeping. Or that is, he was trying to sleep.
I reason that he will soon grab the first thing that's handy, which will be his boots, and throw them at me and shut me up, and... here they are now.
The cat then slipped on the boots, and his feet were nice and warm. Meanwhile, the young man suddenly realized that he had thrown away the only pair of boots he had in the world and quickly dashed out to get them back. He saw the cat wearing his boots and grabbed the rascal by the neck.
Something's the matter with my throat. I can't talk.
Trying to steal my boots, huh? Just for that, I'm going to doom you.
Now, if there is anything that Pussycat didn't want, it was to be doomed, and he did some mighty fast talking.
Please, man, don't doom me.
Why not?
I'm a magic cat.
You're crazy.
No, really, I could talk, can't I? You know very well ordinary cats can't talk.
Not even in cartoons?
I'll prove it to you. I hereby give you 3 wishes.
Oh, boy. All right, magic cat. For my first wish, I want you should make me rich.
Easy, man. I'll get to work on it first thing in the morning.
Early the next day, the cat set about the task of making the young man's first wish come true, but not exactly in the way that the young man had imagined.
Now, you stay in there. You want to be rich, don't you?
Yeah, but...
Relax, then. All you have to do is stay 150 rounds with that monster, and you'll win 1,000,000 pazouzas.
Yeah, but...
1,000,000 pazouzas is a lot of pazouzas, and... Good grief, here it comes.
No.
The fight was on. And oh my, the Berserk Turk was more berserk than he'd ever been before. He fought like a madman, and the poor young man took an awful beating.
Oh, but that smarts. Oh, that's gonna be blue tomorrow.
But somehow, the young man held together for the required 150 rounds and won the money.
Well, I did it, man. Yesterday you were nothing. Now look at you.
Let me ask you, am I still alive?
That I don't know. What's your next wish?
No, you don't. I couldn't stand another wish. Go away.
Nonsense. You still have 2 wishes coming. You're not going to waste them.
Well,
Now that you're a man of means, how about wishing for a big house to live in? Come on. We'll get to work on it right now.
Now, it so happened that the only house for rent in the kingdom was one inhabited by a huge ogre. But the rent was a little more than they could afford for...
2,000,000 pazouzas?
But the clever cat had a scheme. He took out a small jar of termites and set them loose in the house.
Hey, Ogre, come here. You're missing the chance of a lifetime.
I am?
Why, sure, you got a pigeon here. You should sell him the joint. The place is loaded with termites. Take a look.
Termites? Good heavens, I had no idea.
Well, ogres seldom do, you know.
The ogre quickly sold the house for 1 pazooza and 38 cents, which is a good price even for a termite-infested house, and dashed away happy as a troll.
What kind of a magic cat are you? You let me buy a house that's falling apart. Get out of my sight. Go away.
Not so fast. You still got 1 more wish coming in.
I don't want it.
With it, I will get you a bride so you can live happily ever after.
No, I don't want a bride?
Right. Now you wait here.
And the cat dashed off and in no time at all selected a bride, and the young man was married. But he didn't exactly live happily ever after, for...
You're just a lazy loafer, that's what you are. Scrub the floors, wash the windows, pay the kids.
Sheesh. What did you do? Pick her out of a bunch of good ones?
You pay attention to me while I'm yelling at you.
Yes, my love.
Now what about my fur coat?
Yeah, what about that?
I don't have one, that's what's about it. Everybody in the kingdom has a fur coat but me. You go into town this very minute and get me one.
But you spent all my pezoozas, my love. I can't get you
No excuses. You get me a fur coat or else.
So, once again, the young man turned to the cat and asked,
Please, Magic Cat, grant me one more wish to help me get a fur coat.
Sorry, man, but I'm now retired. Besides, us magic cats never grant more than 3 wishes to a customer.
But I gotta have a fur coat.
Don't come to me with your problems. You got yourself into this mess, get yourself out.
All righty, I will.
Hey, what do you think you're gonna do? Don't look at me like that. Stop.
And so, once upon a night, there was a cat with cold feet, cold knees, cold chest, cold neck, cold face, cold ears.
And here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello there. Time again for a small belt of culture. Today's poem is a searching character study called Simple Simon. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Said Simple Simon to the pieman, let me taste your ware.
My what?
Not your what, your ware. Let me taste your ware.
What where? I got no where.
You know what where? Anywhere.
Who's got where?
You got where.
I don't got where. Ask her. Maybe she's got where.
Who's she?
She's witch.
Witch?
Yes, see if she's got where.
What where?
Witch has where.
What?
No, where?
What's nowhere?
This whole poem. Why don't you start over?
Because I can't quit till I get a pie.
A pie? You said where?
Same thing. Your pies are your wares.
Oh, why didn't you said so? Here is pie.
That's better.
Better?
Sure. Now I'm getting somewhere.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! No doubt about it. I gotta get another hat.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Dawn, the time of day when Pearl White got up and ate her cereal. But here in Canada, at the turn of the century, the mounted policeman had many things to do before he could eat breakfast. One of the things was to answer morning roll call.
All right, men, answer to your name. Do-Right.
Here.
Dudley Do-Right.
Here.
Constable Dudley Do-Right.
He's here too, sir.
Good. Men, we have a serious shortage of mounters.
Seeing as how Dudley was the only Mountie, Inspector Fenwick's statement could be construed as accurate.
I want one of you to go out and bring in some recruits. Any volunteers?
Why don't I take a stab at it, sir?
You do that, Do-Right. Tomorrow morning, I hope to see a whole flock of mounters standing here.
On the following day at sunrise...
Do-Right.
Here.
Fenwick.
Here?
Fenwick. You and I have the same last name. What's your first name?
No.
Well, what do you know? That's my daughter's name.
I am your daughter.
I gave her a nickel for joining up, sir.
Do-Right, I ordered you to recruit Mounters.
He's a Mountie.
He's my daughter. Now, you hightail it out of here and get some recruits and don't come back until you do. You even look like my daughter.
Dudley saddled up his horse and left the post post-haste. If only he had glanced to one side, he would have noticed a rotten tree with something even more rotten behind it. Yes, Snidely Whiplash, public enemy number 1, had heard everything.
So they're short on Mounties, eh? Well, I'll fill the ranks, so my name isn't Larry Sabu.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Sabu, but in this picture you're playing Snidely Whiplash.
You play Snidely Whiplash. I played him yesterday, and he beat me 6-love.
This foreboding establishment was once owned by Colin Clive. It was in the underground laboratory that Whiplash hoped to carry out his mad designs.
Is everything ready, Tor?
Yes, Master.
You didn't forget the Tana leaves?
No, Master.
You're a good whatever you are, Tor.
Whiplash pulled a switch, and 1 million volts of carboelectric hydroactivity coursed through a sheet-wrapped figure.
Master. Not now, Tor. The marshmallows come later. Stand back whilst I remove the sheet. Eureka! I've created a finster. Monster. His name is Finster, and the Mounty's name will soon be Mud.
Good morning, men. Roll call time. Do right.
Here.
Fenwick.
Here.
We should stop wearing lipstick, Fenwick. Oh, and here's the new man, Finster. Are you here, Finster? Where did you find him, Do right?
He was holding up a train, sir.
With a gun?
With his hands. Nell's got powder on, too, sir.
Never mind that. Finster, go break up some firewood.
Within an hour, the entire post had been reduced to splinters.
Henrietta's chickens, you've demolished the camp.
Inspector, Indians are attacking.
That should be singular, not plural, for it was just one Indian, Chief Running Sores, one of Snidely Whiplash's many nom-de-plumes.
Finster's on the inside, I'm on the outside, and the Mounties are in the middle.
Rally round the flag, boys. We'll beat him yet. Where's Fenwick, Do right?
He's taking off his makeup.
Finster, don't just stand there. Throw something.
Finster threw something, Inspector Fenwick. Then Dudley. The post was taken over by Whiplash and his monster.
Fie on you, Whiplash. You've got my post and my daughter, and I want my post back.
I'll make you a package deal. Fight Finster in hand-to-hand combat, and it's yours.
You can do it, Inspector.
What do you mean I can do it? I outrank you. You do it.
I'd rather play Mahjong.
Suddenly, Dudley's horse, bound hand and foot, gave vent to a heart-rending cry.
Now they've gone too far. They have tipped the scale. They have upped my dander.
When provoked, Dudley was a fighting machine, especially if he was oiled. Walking Mountie style, he approached the mammoth Finster and... There are those who say the titanic struggle lasted 2 weeks. Whatever it was, by the time the smoke cleared, only one figure stood triumphant. Finster.
I'm discharging you from the service, Fenwick. Go home.
Fenwick left. The next morning...
Do right.
Here.
Dudley Do right.
Here.
Constable Dudley Do right.
Here.
How about Constable Dudley Do right of the Canadian Royal Mounted?
We're all here.
Today's lesson is mighty important, remember?
Bullwinkle is a...
Not that lesson. This lesson.
Well, the problem of the nation's disappearing TV may be solved after all, for Senator Shunpike has just appointed our hero, Rocky, to be in charge of the investigation.
Hey! Thank you, and I'll do my best to track down the culprit.
It looked as if it might be a short track, though, for at that moment an iron lamppost trembled, tilted, and toppled over right at Rocky. Fortunately for our hero, Senator Shunpike chose that same moment to begin his farewell address.
And now, friends, I must bid you adieu as...
Boy, when he says adieu, he really does.
Congratulations, Senator. Best speech you ever made.
As the senator was whisked away on a stretcher, Rocky and Bullwinkle examined the fallen lamppost.
No doubt about it, Bullwinkle. This post was bitten clear through.
True.
But who could have done it?
A beaver?
Through an iron post.
An eager beaver.
No, it has to be some unknown creature.
Yeah, like that 6-foot mouse I saw t'other night.
6-foot mouse?
Sure.
And Bullwinkle finally told Rocky about his meeting a few nights before with a huge metal mouse. A mouse that immediately sent him to dreamland.
But why didn't you tell me before?
I didn't think you'd believe me.
I don't, but it sure helps the plot. Well, now how can we catch him?
How about a mousetrap like this?
No, that's too small. But hey, Bullwinkle, you got it.
Ooh, not really. It's got me.
No, listen.
So a little while later, following Rocky's plan, the boys had constructed a huge mousetrap, big enough to catch a 6-foot mouse.
Boy, I'd hate to have my pinkies caught in that thing.
Now where'll we put it?
After a lot of thought, our heroes wheeled their monster mousetrap to an old house surrounded by a high wall on the outskirts of town.
But nobody's lived in there for years, Rock.
Sure, so it ought to be full of mice.
And maybe one of them is 6 foot tall, huh?
Right. Now you put the bait in the trap.
Bait?
Sure. I brought along a little snack for that metal muncher.
Snack? Rock, that there is a 200-pound, you'll pardon the expression, dumbbell.
Well, I figure he won't be able to resist it.
Okay, I'll put it on the trigger.
Don't drop it, Bullwinkle.
Drop it? You must think I'm a plenty clumsy oaf.
No, I don't.
Well, I am. Look out!
And as Bullwinkle fell, the dumbbell flew through the air and landed on the trigger. And Rocky, caught by the crossbar, was sent hurtling through the air.
Rocky, are you all right?
But an ominous silence hung over the old house.
Be hurt? I gotta get in there.
And the mighty moose hurled himself at the high iron gates. Alas, they held fast. He then cut down a small tree and fashioned a crude vaulting pole to get over the wall. But he hadn't figured on the softness of the marshy ground around Bleakley Mansion.
Oh, Baz Faz.
Then, after exhausting every other possibility, Bullwinkle began to think. The strain was terrific.
Ooh.
And impossible though it seemed, he got an idea.
The mousetrap, that's what.
Yes, in a twinkling, Bullwinkle had reset the mousetrap, perched himself on the end of the crossbar, and tossed a pebble at the trigger.
Boy, that was a keen idea.
Yes, it was a marvelous idea, except for one thing.
What's that? What's that?
Well, obviously the window was too small for Bullwinkle to go through.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, will Bullwinkle be able to extricate himself?
I will as soon as I get loose.
And what has happened to Rocky? Don't miss our next episode, Window Panes or the Moose Trap.
Well, it looks as if our time has just about run out.
Mine must be a little slow.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop.
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right.
Bye now. See you next time.